All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's live stream. Happy Friday. Looks like CPI market is green after the report this morning. If you guys have any tickers or stuff you want me to look over, just type it in the chat and I will look over it and chart it out. Looking at the positions that I am currently holding, that I held into today, we had KMI. KMI obviously broke over 32, exactly what I was talking about last night. We're now over 32. Would look for a close above that today. KMI calls hit 280% this morning. Next we have EPD. EPD also had a nice move above 36 today. It's sitting at almost a 4% day right now, so the momentum continued here as well. Then we have NLY. NLY calls are also green today, over 100%. Took a slight dip, but came right back up above 23. These calls expired in the money. So basically everything, all the calls that I had this week that I wanted to expire in the money, look like they are going to close in the money. Cypher mining. Cypher mining is above the 50 here. The thing I would watch is a breakout right here. The MACD also looks good, crossing over. So after that strong bounce over the 200, there's a good chance that this actually could continue upwards. So that looks positive. The one I was really preaching about over the last few days, Robinhood. Robinhood's up 7% today. There's a gap up here up to 85 that I want filled. Ideally, I'd like this to climb back up into the 90s. So, but it's a good start. The Robinhood leaps that I picked up yesterday were already 20%, up 20% today. Amazon dipped below 200 again today. Reclaimed 200 for now by only like 32 cents. But I continue to hold this one. I think it's going to bounce. And I still think it's a good buy, especially with all the volume coming in here. So for my swing play going into later this month, I'm still in those. They were down a bit this morning, but they came right back up. Let me take a look at QQQ. Can QQQ continue going up? For today, we did break out of the opening range and hit the opening range target to the upside. Ideally, we bulls want to look for a move up to 605.33. Then from there, we can head up to 607. Can it continue? Yeah, everything's showing right now that bulls are at least in control. It's a very slow grind up. And we're not even that green today, but it's worth keeping an eye on, like this trend line support here. If we lose this, then bears gain control. But I guess you could also watch. We're basically like in an upward range. Let's look over FISV. Let's go a bit further out here. This is more of not so bullish name right now, but basically we'd want a breakout here. We're already sitting below that critical level for support. We're still sitting around here, so bears could very much easily use this as a I don't know, like a retest and then drop even further. There is a massive gap that was left behind, obviously, from 76 to 125 after that really bad earnings report last year. But the MACD's back to the 0 line, and we'll see if we cross over here. The squeeze also looks like it could potentially be signaling a potential reversal for now, but nothing really too bullish unless we cross above this here. And then, of course, we had the 50 EMA to get over. So let's take a look at looking at 6945 call for SPX. SPX, yeah, this goes kind of the same story as the NASDAQ. We're coming up to this pivot here. This pivot here is, of course, a potential reversal point. So if we can get above it, great. Then we should head up to, I would say, 6930 on SPX. There's a good chance we could get that high. I think it's another 0.7% up. I don't know if that'll happen today, but if we break the pivot here, we should head higher. T-Doc. February 27th calls. This has kind of been a rough one because it's been grinding down. It depends on where you entered those calls, because this is really like, we've only seen 2 green days in the past 2 to 3 weeks. So you can also see right here, this was a nice bear flag on the daily before the next leg down. This is a dangerous one to go long on for now. It broke obviously the lows here. And scrolling out, sorry, picking up the weekly candles here. It seems to be continuously making new lows. So really dangerous one to go long on to try to catch the move down. Because since January, we're down 44% on this one. The strike of $5. If you're at the 5 strike here, it depends. If this is an engulfing candle, if this candle can close above here, then yeah, I'd say you should be fine, at least to take profit before another potential drop down. But it really just depends on how this candle performs today, as long as we close above the previous day. What do I think about IWM for today? Same story as the NASDAQ and the S&P. Of course, the Russell's a lot stronger today compared to those two. But the spot to watch right now would be this R1 pivot of 265.20. If we get above that, then we should climb to yesterday's high, like 267.50. Apple puts. It's a bit risky going short on Apple right now, but after the last couple days, it would seem reasonable to go short here. The only thing I would say, if you have the 245, which is down here, you have the 200 EMA that you need to watch here on the daily. They're gonna try probably testing that again, and we'll see if it holds this time around. But I still think Apple's going to make a new all-time high this year. There's a good chance Apple makes an all-time high. We came pretty close a few days ago. We were only, I want to say it was like only 2%. Yeah, it was like 2.5% off of making a new high. But if you're in puts, I would watch that 200 EMA. QQQ broke out of the opening range. Yeah. It actually pulled kind of a fake this morning because we had a break. Really, it's actually a really sloppy morning so far. It's a slow grind up, obviously, but we had that break, right? So that 5-minute candle did not confirm a breakout. Neither did that one. Neither did that one. This one kind of confirmed it. Then we went up $2. And then we came crashing right back down. Came out again, tested the opening range, and then headed back up to the pivot. So it hit the overall upside target of how I would play an opening range breakout. It just took way too long this morning, considering it's already 12 p.m. Eastern time, those calls would have already lost a lot of value. Because the range would have only been from 602 to 604, 605. Do I like NLY? Yeah, I already traded NLY earlier this week. The calls from earlier this week are well over 150%, I think, right now. Calls for long term on now. This actually could be a good one to go long term calls on. It's a bit risky because it has been on a really strong downtrend since November. But if you look at the price action now, it's starting to look, I don't know, it's starting to look like it could be bottoming out here, especially with all this volume coming in. And we have some gaps up to fill as well. 122 to 130 and 162 to 171. I don't think we'll see above 160 this year. I think it may have like a slow grind up or even like a continued chop for the rest of the year. But maybe long term, if you're going like closer strikes, like a 120 or a 130. Am I going to do any 0 DTEs today? We'll see. We shall see. NBIS. Oh, 0 DTE. Let me go. I would like to mention here on the daily that I talked about waiting for a breakout here. So for longer term, it actually looks good on a breakout. But if you're playing 0 DTE, you want to break above this R2 pivot, 97.80 for bullish. And if we start grinding down or chopping here, then we should fall back to opening range if you're going to go short to 93. Coin went nuts today. Yeah, it's because crypto's up a lot right now. I think there was also some news on Coinbase. That was earnings. Yeah, you're right. So they're up 17%. I mean, when you look at the overall picture, 17% today really isn't that big, considering how much we've dropped over the last couple weeks. I mean, we're up 17% today, but we're right back to where we were earlier this week on Tuesday. So really not that big of a deal here. Yeah, 17% is a lot, but nobody really cares. What do I think about Hood? I talked about Hood earlier. It had a nice bounce today. I took the leaps right at the lows at 170. 171. So I already trimmed 20% of those leaps. Hoping this is the bottom here, especially with all the volume coming in. I don't think it goes any lower than 67.50. But I have shares and leaps on this one. Netflix. Netflix just continues to fall. I said this one wouldn't be bullish at all until we cross above this trendline resistance. So it's bears are in control here until this breaks out. If this downtrend continues with how strong as it's been, it'll fill this gap at 70, 40 here. 70-40. So if you're in shorts, that's what I would target. Kind of like a PNW. This one's really bullish right now. It broke above the. Let me take this one out. Broke above the local high here. This range, which is great, but the big spot now is crossing over 100. If we cross over 100, then we should see all-time high. I think it would be all-time high unless I'm. Yeah, that would be all-time high. We should see all-time high at like 107. So the next big spot is 100. Really, it's not worth going long in the long term unless we get this confirmed. We'd have to wait to see how we break out here. So there's a chance we could come down and retest it to like 96, retest it, and then go. So negative earnings and up 17%. Yep, that's how everything's been recently. It's earnings. You never know. ZS stock. That's a pretty bearish name right now. This could actually potentially be forming a bear flag for another leg down. So, yes, it is bouncing off of the 165 level here, but there's a good chance that we lose that and we could head down into like the 130s to this support here. So, QQQ flying. Yeah, let's see if it broke that. It may have broken that pivot. Well, actually, it's not a confirmed breakout from the pivot yet. But yeah, I mean, this is worth. It looks like it may head up to that 607 that I was talking about, 607.60. Yeah, that is a long consolidation on PNW. That's been waiting for a breakout for quite some time here. I mean, you're going back all the way to early last year, even further, like late 2024, just between like 88 and 94. So totally reasonable that we'd break out now, and it looks like it's breaking out with good volume. But like I said, I would just wait for a potential retest. Thoughts on Amazon? Yeah, I mentioned this earlier that we need to hold above 200. If we don't hold above 200 on Amazon, we could drop further to fill this gap at 195 and potentially head even lower into those April lows, into like the 180s. But what I like here is the amount of volume coming in. So for now, I think we'll hold 200. I want this gap at 220 filled for the current calls that I'm in. I think people will see this as a good buying opportunity, and probably continue to pour into Amazon. I'll start looking at some potential setups for today. I probably won't be taking any 0 DTEs, but I would like to get into a couple new swing plays today. I'm happy with the 3 plays that I took earlier, and then of course we had those wolf calls. I think it's, let me go take a look at wolf again. Those were up 60% this morning, the calls. We're really just sitting here. We continue to sit here at this level. I think we're going to eventually take off and have another leg up. So I continue to hold some of those calls, obviously. The 607 is a resistance from yesterday, by the way. It's a resistance level from yesterday. Yeah, so it really just depends on this pivot here. Do you still have XYZ? Yeah, I think I'm still green on those calls as well. Let me check my position. Those are still green for me. Yeah, I'm still up 6% on XYZ calls. The Amazon calls are green. My hood leaps are green. KMI is up Um, KMI's up 160%. EPD's up 800%. NLY's up 100%. Pretty much everything I took this week is green right now. Yeah, my Amazon calls are up 10% right now. I probably won't take a trim on those until we see like 15%. If we can grind up a little higher today to like 202. I mean, I have the 205 calls, so it's pretty positive. They're pretty close. So yeah, I'm just going to continue holding those. Took MU today. Micron Technology. I think it's up. Well, it was down, I think 2% earlier this morning. Oh, it was down 6%. I mean, it's the same story. It broke out of the opening range. And yeah, it's a high dollar. Yeah, these are expensive cons. Micron cons are really expensive. Any cheap swing setups you're looking at? Yeah, I want to look. I want to enter a couple new swings today. We'll see what the price of the options are. But GX ceiling on Q is lined up with 607. Yeah, that's. Oh, that's you, Raphael. Any bullish tickers you recommend to swing over the 3-day weekend? Oh yeah, I forgot. The stock market is closed on Monday. I think it's President's. Is it President's Day? Yeah, President's Day, Monday. Let's get back to the hood. I'd like to see a 10% day on hood. That would be nice. Yeah, Amazon move up to an Amazon move up to 203 would be nice today. Probably get a nice opportunity to trim. It's like another percent up. But see some other potential setups we got. APA had a nice bounce today after it was down a lot yesterday. Will I be posting them on Discord or do I need to be in the live? I post them in the Discord regardless. I'm just on live here for those who want to see the charts as I'm taking the plays, but all the plays they're posted to Discord regardless. So don't think you'll miss a play because I didn't mention it, or I only mention it in live stream and I don't post it on Discord. I'll post all my plays on Discord. That's what I do. Do I think QQQ will reverse today? For now, the bulls are pretty much in control. The only spot reversal that I said would happen would be here at the pivot, but it looks like bulls are taking that right to 607. So, like I mentioned, the 605 pivot would have been the only reversal opportunity that bears could have had, but it looks like bulls denied that, and they're going to send us to 607.60. So, thoughts on NTR? Yeah, let me take a look at NTR. NTR is going out in the daily. It's on a nice uptrend, and it's been holding up really well throughout the overall market drop since late January. I think this is an agricultural stock. Yeah, this is agricultural. It's still down bad from all-time highs back in 2022, but the momentum right now up is pretty strong. I would say for now, any dips are a good opportunity to buy. Like if it comes down and tests the 50 at any point, it would probably be a great opportunity to get in. But I do like this one. This is a pretty bullish name for now. Considering that we're already up, 67% in a year on an agricultural stock, which is pretty good. SanDisk is going bonkers. SanDisk is always moving like crazy. The cons are just so expensive on this one. Yeah, $60 moves in an hour, 8% on a stock that's worth $638 a share. It's wild. How was the risk of striking Iran this week? That's what I just pulled up a second ago. Trump says this was 10 minutes ago. Trump says, I think the Iran talks will be successful. If unsuccessful, it'll be a bad day for Iran. But he's been saying that for a while now. I don't know if the strikes will happen this weekend. If any strikes are going to happen, it'll probably happen at some point next week. I don't think strikes will happen over the weekend, though. Let's take a look at, do I think Microsoft can hit 405 today? Considering how the market is in an upwards bullish move right now, 405, 406 actually is like that resistance level from yesterday, like near the top of the opening range from yesterday. 406 is the pivot to the upside, the R1 pivot to the upside on an opening range break for today. So yeah, if Microsoft can break the opening range here, which it hasn't done all morning, by the way, tested it here, tested it again, and then fell right back down. And this looks like it could be our third attempt at breaking that opening range. If we do break it, then yeah, 405, 406 actually will be up next. Tesla is, wow, I can't spell. Okay. Tesla's on a nice grind up today. It's definitely nowhere near recovering its move from yesterday. It had a really bad day yesterday. 5% move to the downside. But bulls are in control right now. It's a slow grind up, obviously. I was looking at BP earlier. You know, maybe I will take a trim on Amazon at 10%. Bitcoin's up 3% today. I want to see what these BP calls are sitting at for a 0 DTE. Because I think we could get up to 37.75. I could be wrong, but let's see, the 37.5 calls are sitting at around 0.18. I don't know, we'd need to move. I think they're realistically around 0.17 actually. I don't know, I'll keep an eye on this one. I might take this one for fun for a 0 DTE. We'll see. Weeble's up 6% today. Let's see what else is up. BMY, obviously, Chipotle's up 3% today. Considering how much everything dropped yesterday, almost nothing is back to yesterday's highs, or at least their opening levels. Any chance IWM will come back down to 262 today? Not while the bulls are in control, and especially while they're breaking the pivots, because I think even the Russell's heading up to its pivot here. To come down to 662, I mean, it's possible it's a whole percent move down for the Russell. I don't think it happens. Is it possible? Yeah, anything's possible, 0 DTE. But we'd need a run out of bullish momentum, which we might do at 265. Let's continue looking. Chewy, Devon, EPD. This is gone. This is the one I played earlier this week. ET calls are a bit wonky sometimes. F sells up 5% today. Gap is up 2.5%. It actually would be interesting if Gap can return back up to yesterday's high. So let me take a look at this one actually. Let's see. If it'll load. For today's expiration 0 DTE, if you're looking at the, probably go for the 30 or the 28 would be the gamble. It's basically betting that it continues up and climbs above 28. Let's see what those cons are sitting at. Shouldn't be too expensive. HPQ looks like it topped out. KHC is retesting the opening range. MO is green today. NLY already have those runners. NEM, it's having a good day. This is because gold GLD is up right now. Knee also green. On. T-Doc's up 8%, but I already went over that one. Said it still looks pretty bullish or bearish to the downside. USB is green right now. We may see a move above 58 today. Let's see what those cons are sitting at. Because if we got above 58, then I would expect a stronger move. Let's see. Those are, I think, sitting around 0.20. So if we break this high right here, 58.12, it should quickly send us to 58.37. Riley's also having a great day. GLD. Take a look at GLD. It's green today. It's up 2%. Yesterday was obviously devastating. It had that death candle from 466 to 448. It was like a 3.5% drop. I don't think we fully recover up to 465 today. but that was a lot of volume that came in on that drop. So that's really positive. How much higher on SPX can we go? Yeah, I talked about this one earlier. We're sitting right at that pivot right now. We could get up to 68.96. I don't think we see a move all the way up to 69.30. That'll probably be for Tuesday. Gonna check out. Yeah, this one's up right now, 0.06%. If I check out, I mean, I could look at these calls. This one doesn't really have that much momentum. That's the problem. AGNC, I've kind of stayed away from that one recently. It's on my list here. It's up 1% today. I would probably be better off taking a call on this one than I would on the Tiger one. Because UP Fintechs is moving way too slow anyways. You know what else is moving slow? My phone. Well, I mean, it depends. So if this one can hold, it's above the opening range. And if it breaks the pivot, then we'd quickly see 816 today. This actually might be a decent one to take. I want to see what calls are sitting at. So calls are sitting at like 0.10 right now, 0.11. Because I think it can quickly get up to 816. What's up with Amazon? Yeah, Amazon's struggling right now. It double topped here at 201. Which is odd because the index is continuing to grind higher. This actually could be a potential good spot to go long here for the Qs if it retests 605, and then it should head up to 607. I'm kind of watching those, this one. So it could get back up to 6 or 816. See where we're sitting at 807. They look good for next week. Yeah, they could be good for next week. I'm actually thinking more of a 0 DTE play. Let's go back to BP. Because I did start picking up a couple of those calls. We'll see if BP can climb up to 37.75. Let's go back to Tiger. some of these. Calls are sitting at like 0.11. E4. I think the market might be having a pullback. Ethereum's up 8%. That means that Bitmine is probably doing well today. Yeah, it's up 8%. What about Costco? Costco wholesale, they're back over 1,000, which is good. This name is just, it always continues to be bullish no matter what. But today it's having a really nice day. It'll see a new all-time high by in 2026, without a doubt. I want to go back to Tiger. So I think it could catch some bulls. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on that one. Amazon calls. I'll probably, if we run back up again, I'll probably take a trim at 10%. SPCE. Virgin Galactic. I think this name's been pretty bearish recently. Yeah, it's been pretty bearish recently. I don't see any signs of anything being bullish yet until we drop back down closer to $2. That's just me, though. The other one I was watching earlier for a potential 0DTE play was USB. So I wanted to see USB above 58, obviously. Clint, do you think the AI disruption that the talking has been going on about is just to push prices down so the big guys can buy the dip and pump? That's the thing. We're not even down that much. Really, things aren't as bad. I was talking about this last night. Things are not that bad, as much as everybody wants to like say they're bad right now. The dip overall, like in the indexes, if you look out like the higher time frames, the Nasdaq is down 4% from highs, and the S&P is down less than 2% from the highs. Yeah, it's like 1.5% off the highs. Take a look at the Russell as well. I think the Russell's hardly off the highs as well. The Russell's about 2.5%. Everything is barely down. You guys don't understand. One day, one really good day in the market can absolutely make all-time high on all the indexes. So no, it isn't that bad. Now, if we had like an April lows drop, then I'd be like, yeah, this is probably some manipulation to pull the market back so that they can get in. You should probably also get in. It's not that bad yet. Let's go take a look back at Tiger. It's still outside the opening range. Let's check on BP. Those BP calls are back in the money. Probably want to see a break above 37.60. Next week, QQQ will go to 580s. That's kind of pushing it. I don't think we drop that far next week. It'll only be a 4-day trading week. But I don't think we get down to the 580s. Like 580, it's a whole, I think it's like a 3% drop, 4% drop. Yeah, it's like a 4% market drop. I don't think we drop 4% next week. Any more major news coming today? I don't think so, no. What Amazon puts would you look at to trade if we keep rejecting 201? 201's not the spot to watch. You need to watch 200 on Amazon. 200 is the psychological level, not 201. If we fall below 200 and we keep checking 200, we keep testing 200 and can't break it, then I would say start looking at shorting. What do I think of SLLY puts? It's really risky going short. I was actually looking at this earlier this morning for a potential short after the earnings. The thing is, its earnings were really good, but really dangerous to short for now. I almost went short yesterday, almost at the top, and I'm glad I didn't because we went up a little further today. But we're up about 100% from pre-earnings with good volume too. It's worth mentioning that we have great volume here. Really risky name to short. What it could be going for is that 2250 gap fill from all the way back here. So yeah, that would be my thoughts on it. What kind of difference in trading volume do you see in the 4-day trading weeks from institutional traders? It really depends. I should probably actually make a post on X about this later today, but normally in shorter weeks there's lesser volume. But it really just depends. Like if there's news or there's an event that takes place, or let's say next week that Iran is bombed, then we'll probably see an increase in volume naturally. Let's go back to this one. I'm just watching this one here because we are still above the opening range, and if we break that pivot, I think we'll quickly go up. The dips don't really mean much here on the NASDAQ until you see a drop below that mid pivot, 605.30. Because bulls could use this as a bounce here and then head up to 607. Still kind of looking at these tiger calls. Tiger looks like a beautiful bull flag. Let's go. Well, it depends on what you're looking at. It's not really bull flag-ish. Well, I guess it could be. Yeah, actually, that could be bull flaggy for sure. If it breaks out here above this pivot and like gets up to back up to 810, 809, 810 and holds, then actually, so it looks like we could be climbing above that pivot right now. That would very quickly bring us to 816. And those calls really aren't that expensive either. I think they're sitting at like 0.11 right now. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to go long here. Probably go for the tiger, like 0 DTE in the money calls. They're sitting at like 0.11, 0.12 right now. I'll actually probably alert those because I like those. So it'd be the Tiger 609, or sorry, the Tiger $8 calls. These are 0 DTE, so they're like really risky. And cons are at like I think 0.12 right now. We'll see if we get the break though. At 11. $8.16 would be the spot I'd want. That'd be ideal. I'll just mark it 8.15 as the target. We'll see though. The cons are sitting at 0.12, so if it breaks, as long as it holds above the pivot, then it should be good. QQQ below 605. Yeah, it's starting to drop. But we're now retesting. We'll probably like retest 406.55. So we'll see here. So we hit 405, 604.50. We'll see if that holds and if it will make a new high of day. The problem is we're back below that pivot, the pivot I was talking about. So, but it is risky going long here, obviously. Going back over the Tiger, we're above this pivot here. I would expect us to climb up to 815, 816 today. Cons are at like 0.13. I don't think I alerted it in Discord yet. I'll alert it in Discord right now. This is it's a Friday 0 DTE, so really risky to play, obviously. Those are sitting at 0.13 though. What's the setup on Tiger? On Tiger, I'm sitting in the $8 calls right now. Let's see how the Qs are doing. So they're back here. I'm curious to see how far we drop, if it's worth even looking at going long, or if we possibly topped out for the day. Let's look at the higher time frames. I don't know if we've topped out for the day yet, but bulls need 604.50 to hold. Let's go back over to Tiger. Tiger's still above the pivot. We'll see if we get that climb. That's of course it's a lotto for today, so it's a risky play. That other one I was watching was BP, obviously. Oops. BP's back below the being in the money, but there is a shot that this one could climb and make a new high of day at some point. That USB setup I think was invalidated, yeah, for now. This could also make new high of day. It really depends on how the indexes are going to perform right now, if they're going to bounce or not. Am I in Tiger? Yeah, I'm in Tiger. It's a lotto, so everyone just play it as a lotto. I heard the Trading View alert. Yep. SoFi, let's take a look at SoFi. I was talking yesterday how that one kind of moves up with Robinhood sometimes. Obviously, it's severely lagging today. It's only up 2% after being down. I think it had like a minus 8% day yesterday. So, this is, I still like it below 20. And I know a lot of people on X still like this one too. I talked about yesterday how it could drop all the way down to 1850 is possible, considering that's like the last point of support we had. But you got to look at that head and shoulders that we had. That head and shoulders is what brought us down here. But I do think we're coming up to a good buy, if not already in a potentially good buy area. Will I find swings? Yeah, I'm going to be entering a couple new swings today. Some I'll probably be looking at are ones that had big dips that continue dipping. Pins had earnings. Was pretty good overall, but Pins tends to drop every earnings for some odd reason. This is one that I'm looking at picking up because the last time we had that nasty drop back in, when was it? We had a nasty drop a couple years, yeah, in 2024, and I bought some at like 27, and we went back up into the 30s, the high 30s. This is, of course, the lowest we've been since COVID, I think. Yeah, since the COVID drop. So I am looking to potentially go long on Pins here. Unity is also another one that continues falling. This one's too bearish. I'm holding off on going long on Unity for now, especially with all the bad news it's been having. NU is also a good, NU Holdings is a good dip opportunity in my opinion, because this one has continued to climb up. I'll probably go for much longer out calls, and if we get the opportunity of retesting the 200, it should most definitely bounce at the 200. So that would also be another good opportunity. Why not Tiger next week? I may take some Tiger calls for next week. That was just the Tiger calls for today is just what I'm playing for right now as a lotto. I haven't even looked at the swings yet. I like to wait towards like the end of day before I start entering some new swings. KMI is also, that one's just flying right now. It broke. It's probably worth rolling some of those contracts for further out, because I think we could climb into the mid 30s next, especially after breaking this previous point of resistance. So yeah. Somebody asked me about Sava. Sava's still like consolidating down here. It's not really I wouldn't say we're bullish yet. I want to go take a look at Qs again. See if we're bouncing. So I mean, we're bouncing, but let's see. Yeah, I think we may have. I think we held that pretty well. We'll see if bulls send it to the new highs today. Because that's what I was expecting. That 404 or the 604.50 is what I was expecting to hold. I'd like to see a run up to new highs for the day, if possible. Going back to Tiger, I think Tiger's up nice. Oh, there we go. Tiger hit our target, actually. Although it's being goofy, I'm not sure if anybody got that trim there. Well, let me see if I got my orders in. I don't even think I was able to trim there. sitting at like, calls are sitting at 0.14. 0.13. I don't even think I was able to get a trim there. Calls are being all whacked out right now. Added KMI for 320. Yeah, that's a good decision, honestly. Because it broke that range that I was talking about. Oh, it actually looks like those calls did run up to 0.17. Somebody got a nice trim at 0.17. I didn't get a chance to trim, so. I think there was good volume there, though. Yeah, unless you had an order set, nobody got the trim in. I didn't put my order in, so I didn't get the trim in at Tiger. I think it keeps grinding up, but I didn't get the trim in. Those calls are sitting at 0.13 still. Had your exit set at 14 and sold. Nice. Yeah, if you had your orders in, you should have been able to get that trim in. I think USB also had a nice move up just a second ago. Yeah, USB is back in the money, so kind of recovered after invalidating that one setup that I was talking about. Yeah, we'll see here. It's continuing to climb. Let's see how BP's doing. BP, I probably wouldn't even consider playing that one at all. For Tiger, we still want this to run up. The ask is, the cons are sitting right at 0.13 right now. I'd still want this to grind higher up to 8.15, but like in a solid way. This is necessarily, this isn't really a good solid weird spike at all. I don't think anybody got trimmed on that one, unless you had that order in, like you said. Two cons filled at 0. Oh, nice. So you got filled at 16 and 17. Oh, two cons filled. Are you talking about in the orders? Yeah. It looks like nobody got filled. Putting the trim orders would have made sense for sure here. We'll see, though. It's about 3 cents away. I'd want a solid 3 cents move up. Going back to the Qs, I think we could be headed to all-time high, or to new highs, daily highs today. The KMI one, though, that's a good ad if you took that, because they, it's really solid move up today. I talked about it last night, how I'd want that strong move up over 32, and we got that today. So I'm really happy about that. What does lotto mean? It literally means lottery, gamble, casino. Let's take a look and see how silver's doing today. SLV, I think it's red. Yeah, well, it's not red, but it's up 4%. But we're within that. Remember yesterday I was talking about how like stuff that's within the 50 and 200 you kind of stay away from. There's a chance that SLV actually will continue grinding down a bit further into the 60s. I think I was talking about this on silver futures. Silver futures could climb back down into the low 60s before we'd see any crazy strong bounce. Means go all in. No, it does not mean go all in. Full port. Caught the, oh yeah, you got the Crocs earning play. That's good. That's good. That one had a really nice move. I'm glad you caught that because that did have a gigantic move. Yeah, it was like a good 15%. So good gains there. I had 100 of those KMI from a few days ago, average 0.05. That means you probably made a crazy amount considering that KMI went up into, I think 0.30 today was the high. I only have a couple left just for fun on those ones. Let's see how the keys are doing. So for bulls, I'd say 607 is the spot today. You want 607. That's the spot to watch. Thanks for doing these. It helps understand the reasoning behind the trades posted on Discord. Yeah, that's why I'm going to start doing these more often. That way you guys can actually see it in real time as I take these trades. I'm glad you guys find them helpful. You can put your tiger calls, your trim orders in. If we have another move up, then it's probably best to put those trim orders in. It's a lottery though, so literally these could go to zero. I'll probably add a couple more just for fun. A new message request on Discord. Didn't see the live trading today. Yeah, that's because I started a little later today. So I'll probably just hold these tiger calls into close. We'll hold into close. This is a Friday play, so cons will move very fast. As they are 0 DT. Okay. Target is 8:15. Perfect. I'll alert that. You guys do know that you know, stuff on Friday does move crazy fast and it's super risky. How do you set a trim stop limit order where you can just sell the trim at the sell price? Yeah, so you would just set the trim. It's a limit order. You set the limit in your broker and then the amount of cons that you'd want to sell at that price. How you want to manage that is completely up to you, especially since it is a lotto. So you can manage your lotto position how you prefer. might be the market grind up. I mean, yeah, it's continuing to grind up. And like I mentioned way earlier before we broke that pivot, when I said that any pullback is a good opportunity for bulls to just keep adding all the way up to 607. I think we're getting up to 607. That's just me. See how USB is doing. I think that was having a grind up. Yeah. Super low volume. Yeah, it's market doesn't have much volume right now. Just fine. I mean, I'm just sitting here chilling. I don't mind. Buy and sell at your own risk, especially on a Friday. Friday plays extra risky. All right. I'm actually going to, we're approaching 2 p.m. Eastern, so probably best for me to start looking at some swings. For swing plays, I won't be swinging probably anything into next week because we have only a 4-day trading week, so it's a little riskier. What I will do is probably look at stuff at least 3 weeks out. The first one I probably want to look at right now is NU. NU is probably the first one I would want to take a look at right now. Yeah, let's start looking at some NU calls. See if I can have my Weeble up for you guys. Oops. Let's take a look at the Weeble. NU holdings. If we go out, let's say, yeah, 3 weeks CT is better. No Tiger for next week. We'll see. We'll see how if the momentum continues today, then I may take Tiger for next week. We'll see though. We'd probably want to go for NU. I probably want to go out till March, like March 20th. Looking at the calls, I'd probably look for. I want to go closer. I want to say like the 17 strike for March. Yeah, probably the 81 or the 17 strike. 17 strike sitting around like. Let's see what the last order was on these. Was at 82. I wonder what I can get filled out on these. Look at like the NU chart. So I do think we could get back above 17 before March, even if we dip a little bit more. Let me look at those. NU. What is up with my phone? Okay. All right, I'm going to take these NU calls and then hop off. And then I'll probably take 2 more swings later in the day, probably right before close. But for the NU calls, let's look at March 20th. NU at the 17 strike. I'm sending in an order right now. I got filled one at 0.84. And then let me go. I think I might be able to get it at 8.2. Didn't fill at 8.2. It's for March 20th, by the way. 0.83. Okay, so it looks like 0.84 is the spot to get in. So I will send that in Discord. And for analysis, I of course posted that for you all. Or mentioned it here in the live stream, but I'll post it in the due diligence channel as well. That way you guys can all see it from a chart perspective. Let me just alert those really quickly. NU 17 call for March 20th at 0.84. And that is a swing play. Looks like we're getting a red candle here on Qs. Bears really don't have any control over anything until we fall below 604.50. Came really close to making new high of day right there, but we actually just retested it. So we'll see if Bears use this as fuel for a double top. But yeah, so I have the NU swing that I just entered, and before close, I'll probably look to enter. What was the other one I was looking at? Macy's could be another one, and Delta Airlines is what I was looking at as well. I think Delta Airlines it's on a nice uptrend, and it's had three solid red days in a row. But I think it could be good for a swing back up into the 70s, personally. So that's the other one I'm watching. Yeah, if you guys have any other questions on stuff you want me to chart, certain things you want me to look at, go ahead and just post them in either of the chat rooms in the Discord, and I will answer them as soon as possible. For those of you who still have problems with activating your VIP in the Discord and have mix-ups between your email on WAP and Discord, just send me a DM, and I'll get that straightened out for you. And last thing, for Tiger calls, I'm gonna hold those into close. So it's a lotto, and I'm gonna hold those. So yeah, I will. We'll probably do a live trading stream analysis tomorrow at some point, maybe tomorrow evening. We'll just do a recap over the week and look over some certain overall market movement heading into next week. But that'll be for tomorrow. Yep. I will catch you all later. Have a good weekend.